Well, it's Liquidate All Assets. It's Guru and it's Dibs, brought to you by Livermore Casino in downtown Livermore, 3571 First Street at Livermore Casino. Come see us. Goo, episode 36. We're
Wow.
turning the page from January. It's time for February. What's good, my guy?
It's always good to see you. 36 of these things, but I'm going how I got to school. And that was the bus and Jerome Bettis, number 36.
Wow, the bus, one of the great 36s of all time. No doubt. It is brought to you by Livermore Casino, the Tri-Valley's place to play. Game day specials, Sunday 10 to 8, Monday and Thursday 5 to 9. Get a hot dog for $2.50, chili dog just an extra $1. Domestic draft beers $2.50. Imports and well cocktails only $4 at Livermore Casino Street in downtown Livermore. Goo, we got Wednesday night NBA picks. We have NCAA picks. We've got NBA futures. And, of course, the Super Bowl is coming up. What do you think about the playoffs so far, Goo? It's been pretty fun so far in the NFL.
You know what? It's been a shocker. The fact that the Bengals are at this stage, I always think we know, but you never know. Sports is the best reality show. And the fact that the Rams slayed the Niner Dragon, and now they're playing the Super Bowl at their home, on their home turf, it's incredible. And again, Dibs, forget television. Sports is the best reality TV in the United States.
No, it's incredible. And let's start there before we get to some Wednesday night picks for the NBA and the NCAA. The Super Bowl, your early lean. The Rams are favored by 4.5. Like you said, they're playing at home. The over-under 48.5. What do you think, Goo? We're not going to lock you in just yet to your pick, but what do you think about where we are with the opening line? Rams favored by 4.5.
I want to just go Lou Alcindor. It's a slam dunk on the Rams. I think Joe Burrow and that porous offensive line, I thought I was done doubting them. But right now, I'm just thinking this is about the Rams. This is about McVay and what they overcame in that fourth quarter. And I love the story, which is the Bengals, but they were down 21-3, Dibs. I'm leaning L.A. at home, and Matt Stafford and that payoff, everything changes. And I see a big day by 99, who didn't have the biggest day against the Niners, but when it counted, Jimmy was under duress his last 9 throws.
You don't give any love to, the Bengals and what they did in the second half. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is better than Matthew Stafford. And, the Bengals went in the locker room. And Zach Taylor, we talk about Shanahan, the boy.
Go ahead.
We talk about McVay and Matt LaFleur. And we talk about Sean McDermott, all the great young coaches. But Zach Taylor in Cincinnati, that offense, that team, they showed a lot of fight now against Kansas City.
I'm going to give you all the credit in the world and Mr. Taylor as well, but he had nothing to do with the bonehead move of Kansas City and the fat man getting too big for the game and bypassing that 3 points. That set the tone. The football gods were like, okay, you think you got it like this? And that's why they were able to come back. And again, I've doubted Cincinnati at home against the Raiders at every turn. And maybe I'll go to the lab and something will come over me. But right now I'm going with what feels tangible. And it's the colors, the Warrior colors that the Rams were, that I just think it's about them overcoming what they did in Kyle Shanahan and the Niners down 10. Now they're at home. You got Aaron Donald and Von Miller trying to eat against, again, the O-line of the Bengals. Everything says Rams right now. It's still early, Diz, but I hear you.
It's early, and coming up, we're going to do a full a sheet of the fun props, not the football props, but some of the off-the-board fun props, the national anthem, and some of the other commercial stuff that's coming up. But let's talk quickly about the over-under. Rams at 48.5. What kind of a game do you think this is going to be?
I like the over right now because, again, it sounds like I'm dissing Cincy, Jamar Chase, and the new Troy Aikman or Dan Marino, whatever you want to call him, with Burrow. I love the kid and the swagger with the gold chase. Got that from LSU, I'm sure. But along with what the Rams are going to try to do in the air, I see a lot of points.
So you like the over at 48?
Yeah, right now, early on, Dibs.
Yeah, early leans. What about the first half spread? Right now, we have the Rams as a 3-point spread, 3-point favorite. I kind of like the Rams in the first half, kind of the same blueprint we saw with Cincinnati, where they get in the locker room and they start to make those adjustments. What do you think about the Rams -3 on a first half spread?
I love it, Dibs, and I've been a first half guy. And if I think the Rams are going to win the game, it has to start early. I don't see a comeback scenario like they pulled off last week. So I like 3.5. I could see them up a touchdown or maybe even 10 points if things go awry for the Bengals early. But 3.5, I'm with that, and looks attractive thus far.
Yeah, and the over-under is 23.5 on the first half. What do you think about a first half total going under? Both teams kind of trying to feel each other out. Maybe it's a 21-10 kind of ball game. What do you think about a first half under 23.5?
I would go over. I was just thinking to myself, Dibs, if you asked me that 17-7, I could see something like that. 14-10. And again, that's all 24. So I would be a little leery right now to go under, but this could be a defensive battle. I just don't see how it is because Cincinnati, if they have a chance, it's going to be with the young man's arm, and he has weaponry. So I could see them feasting on the Rams secondary, which the Niners didn't even try to do.
No, and what do you think about that game? Let's talk quickly about the Niners and the Rams and how that went. What do you think about the way that game went?
I think the aggressor won. And the team that kind of, got scared was Kyle Shanahan. The 4th and 2, okay, I thought you should have went for it. You allowed the Rams to get back. That touchdown to Kittle should have ended the game. And Dibs, it's another chapter in the guy that I love, Kyle Shanahan's book about blowing 10-point leads in big games. 2 Super Bowls. One, he was offensive coordinator. In the Super Bowl, he was head coach against Kansas City. And that game last Sunday, the Niners gave that game away and the Rams took it. I'm just shocked that we didn't see Debo. We didn't see an attempt to Kittle after the touchdown, 1 target. In the last 13 minutes of that game, Debo Samuel, I don't care hurt or not, he was out there, doesn't get 1 target. That doesn't sit well with me, Dibs.
Yeah, no targets, but he got a lot of carries, which is kind of the way that the 49ers are using him. But the Niners are out. The Rams and the Bengals are playing in the Super Bowl. Let's talk quickly about the Super Bowl MVP odds. When you think about a Super Bowl MVP, who do you think that it might be, Goo?
The best receiver in football that's not getting what I believe is just due, I'm going Cooper Kupp. The dude runs routes like Jerry Rice, catches the ball, beats his man, whatever part of the field you want him to run it. And Dibs, maybe it's just me. I don't feel like he's getting that love, but that's my first choice, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, 6-1 plus 600. That's a pretty
wow.
Yeah, I mean, you may want to. Are you ready to liquidate all assets?
I think I am. Yeah.
I mean, 11 days out, the odds may change. So if you really like Cooper Kupp to be the MVP, you may want to get to it soon. Matthew Stafford right now plus 115.
Not bad.
Is, basically even money. Yeah. If you like Joe Burrow, he's plus 210. The guy I like is Jamar Chase. He was incredible all year long. 16-1 odds on Jamar Chase.
I like that, but again, in order to get this trophy, you gotta win the game, and that's the only problem with Cincy. But let me ask you this: from a Rams standpoint, if they just saw Debo and they just saw Kittle and kind of kept them to bay, do you think they're going to be so overwhelmed when they see Chase? Not saying they're not. I'm just I feel like they've been there. They'll know what to expect to a degree.
It could be, and maybe that's why you would go toward the running back Joe Mixon, 25-1. If you're looking for a Cincinnati player to steal the MVP, could Joe Mixon be the guy, or do you go off a crazy wild card T. Higgins, 50-1?
I'm not mad at that 50-1, man. That's a lot. That's a lot of bang for your buck. I'll say this: Mixon's a beast. And prior to this last game against the Rams, the Niners own the Rams on the ground. Mixon can run with the best of them. Dibs, I like that. That kind of piques my curiosity. Again, I just don't see him winning the game.
Yeah, and that's ultimately where the MVP will come from. So if you think the Rams are going to win, then you would want to obviously look for Matthew Stafford. Cooper Kupp 6-1. Aaron Donald, though,
There we go. That was my
1.
question.
Maybe like a scoop and score or a
Oh,
forced fumble or a
4
pick
sacks.
six.
How about
Yeah.
4 sacks?
Yeah. What do you think about Aaron Donald at 16-1?
I love it, and that's where I'm going. He's been relatively quiet for when I say glitz and glamour of Troy Aikman and Joe. Oh, that's a sack by Donald. He's been quiet, but I think 4 sacks in a Ram win could get him that award. 16-1, not bad at all.
Yeah, and I appreciate Atik on the comments. Everyone weighing in, wearing USF coming in as well. The commenters are great here on Liquidate All Assets. Mixon as the MVP would be 25-1. It is Liquidate All Assets, brought to you by Livermore Casino. Find them in downtown Livermore. Get in on the action at Livermore Casino. They've, of course, have Tri-Valley's only poker destination, blackjack, 3-card poker, baccarat, no player collection. Enjoy their 24-hour gaming floor, full bar and restaurant, indoor, outdoor, patio seating. Watch all your favorite games at Livermore Casino. Open 7 days a week at 3571 First Street in downtown Livermore. Livermore Casino, Tri-Valley's place to play. Please play responsibly. Goo, one more from the NFL before we turn our attention toward the NBA and the NCAA tonight. Jimmy G, we know he's going somewhere else. Where do you think he's going? What do you got?
I honestly think he's going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Big Ben has been a statue the last couple of years, and they still had some success. Jimmy's not that much of a statue and can get out the pocket. I just think that's a good fit. He has weaponry. Antioch's own youngster in regard to the run at the Najee, was it Harris?
Najee Harris.
Yeah, so I think that's a good fit. That would be my leader in the clubhouse.
And that's the favorite. The Steelers are 3-1.
Wow.
Washington is 4-1. Denver 5-1. And then Carolina 7-1. What about Tampa Bay? Can he follow Tom Brady again at 8-1?
I hadn't thought about that up until today, Dibs, and they're going to need a quarterback. You got the Bonte Hill's twin. Who am I talking about? Not Godwin. What's my other? Mike Evans. Yeah, so you got weaponry. Do they look at Jimmy like he would look at that locale, like his arm strength or his pos? You know what I mean? Like, is he Brady-esque? And I want to say no, but could he change? Did he have the shackles on in him within a Kyle Shanahan offense? I don't know, Dibs, but I do know when he was outside the pocket against Dallas, Green Bay, and the Rams, those were where he got in trouble, and I don't know how attractive he would be to Tampa, but I'm not mad because they're going to need somebody.
And Tampa's got a great offensive line. They have the best offensive line in football this year until they had injuries in the playoffs, so maybe Bruce Arians devises the offense to protect Jimmy G. 8-1 for the Bucks. The other choice is New Orleans 9-1, Indy 12-1, Houston's 12-1, the Raiders at 15-1, the Packers 20-1. What do you think happens to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers?
I think he comes back. I just don't know. Where he would go. Could you imagine a crazy scenario the way he'd come to San Francisco in a trade? I don't know, but the way that they lost that game in the fashion they did, Dibs, and I don't want to say he's been all talk, Aaron Rodgers. I just don't think they turn the reins over to Love, and it's not about that. Does Rodgers love being in Green Bay? I think he just wants that attention, and I think he comes back.
I love the comments coming in. Trip talking about your waves, and you got me sick. The waves are too much. Angie B. Piseno talking about the Steelers. I think the Steelers are the most likely choice. Jimmy G, a tough guy, and you have to give him his flowers, Goo. The way he played through not one but 2 injuries and still got his team to the conference championship. that to me kind of fits with Pittsburgh's modality.
No, you know what? And he's not getting enough love for the duct tape and the Elmer glue with the shoulder and finger. Yeah. And I'll leave you with this, Dibs, not to hijack it all. That touchdown to Kittle to me at the end of the third, going into the fourth, to get it in the air, I thought that took the sail out of the Rams. But, I thought the coach got too conservative.
Ooh, Shanahan?
Yes.
How so?
The 4th and 2 was everything. You've went for that all season long. And you should have recognized, you know what? They are starting to have some progress and make their way with our defense. We're at midfield. Okay, we'll get the ball back guaranteed even if we don't get it. But 4th and short has been a problem for a guy that I call a genius. But the fact that you elected to kick it, that to me was like a turnover in itself and gave the Rams. And I got to give Stafford credit. He made some passes that were incredible. But did I mention the Tart drop? Let's be honest. You played – that was it, right?
Well, and I think that's getting overplayed a little bit because, he's backpedaling, and it's not as easy as we want to say. And, thank you, Carlos M. The AFC North is very tough. You got to play in Baltimore, in Pittsburgh, in Cleveland. It's not in Cincinnati. A lot of cold weather spots, but PG showed you he can get that done. To me, it was all about the 2nd and 1 play. You get 10 yards with Eli Mitchell, and that was the last positive yardage they got for the whole game. So it was more about a tiring offense, whether or not you should have given the ball to Juszczyk on 3rd down.
Okay.
And, should you have gone for it on 4th? They were going backward, not forward. So I don't blame Kyle for this one.
And you know what? I'll leave you with this, Dibs. I don't blame Jimmy either. He is by far, he threw a pit, not the reason they lost that game.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, Goo. It's Liquidate All Assets with Guru and Dibs here, brought to you by Livermore Casino, the Tri-Valley's place to play. Join us at Livermore Casino, 1st Street in downtown Livermore. Goo, we're going to end it with some fun Super Bowl props, but how about we give out the people some NBA and NCAA Wednesday night locks?
You know what? In our last show, you don't know because you're a big prop guy. And I go with the spread on the NBA games. But, I've been having some fun. Like, why don't I condense it and just focus on that one player to get points, assists, and rebounds? Tonight, OKC's playing the Dallas Mavericks on the road. OKC is. And Dwight Powell, plus 145 to get 7 total rebounds. Not tie or push. If he gets 7 plus 145, the dude's a rebounded machine. No Hardaway, so they've been breaking a little bit. I've been watching the Mavs, and your boy's been hitting home runs with this, Dibs. So the play is Dwight Powell, 7 total rebounds, plus 145. I'm like, I watch the game differently now. Like, just sometimes you can get this by halftime.
Oh my
Hopefully
God.
it's tonight, but that's a pretty good price for 7 rebounds for a tall guy.
No, I love it. And you're looking for a bounce back after a tough January. And, this is the only time we're going to mention it. You were 13 and 20.
What happened?
Your boy Dibley Daryle was 20 and 16.
Dude, wow, I got to give you 20 and 16.
Not bad. I'm going to go ahead and delete the records right now. Okay. I'm going to give you Dwight Powell as your first pick of the month. 7 rebounds over plus 145. But what else do you have for us in the NBA, Goo?
I got the Sacramento Kings. They've just been an embarrassment. They're hosting the Nets. And the Nets coming off a back-to-back loss at Phoenix didn't embarrass themselves. I'm taking the Nets on the road, -4. And I know Kyrie Irving may sit. It doesn't even matter. Steve Nash will have these guys ready. And I just think they take it to the Sacramento Kings, and they win by 4 points.
Brooklyn -4 at Sacramento. What about Cleveland at Houston, Goo?
Now, Cleveland, the 3rd best NBA team when you bet on them to cover, but the last 10, 3-6-1. But I think this is easy. The Rockets become one of my favorite watches, but they don't play like the Warriors. They don't have a plan. They just do open gym, and I'm taking the Cavs -4.5 to take care of Houston.
I love it. Put that on the board as well. And stay hot, Goo. I know you have a pick on Memphis and the Knicks.
I just love everything about what Memphis is doing. I get 14, 15 vibes with the Warriors and the Knicks and their coach. I just don't know what's going on. And I think the young star from Murray State just shows out on what I call
Where is Ja?
Where is Ja Morant? He shows out, and he's not showing up just by himself. And I think they just beat the brakes off the Knicks. So I'm taking the Nets. The Grizzlies to take care and dismantle the Knicks.
At the Garden. And one more goo while you're on fire. Portland and the Lakers. What do you like?
I love the new Anthony Davis. I don't know what's going on in Portland. LeBron won't play, but the Lakers, Spadoni gets mad at me. Oh, they still look bad, but they're playing different. Anthony's playing mean, and I think they win this game by 5 points. I'm taking the Lakers. TNT game, hosting the Blazers. So I'm going to go with the Lakers tonight. And I think it was Carlos that pointed out my bowl record to pick me up from my bad January record, so I appreciate that, Diz.
Yeah, Carlos is trying to give you some love on your locks, but that's Guru's NBA locks. I'll give you some college basketball in a moment.
I got my pen. Let's go.
Yeah, I love it, Goo. But first, let's talk about NBA MVP, where the chef was the big-time favorite for a long time, but now he's plus 425, almost 9-2,
wow.
4.5 to 1. He's no longer the favorite. What do you think about the MVP?
It's interesting, and I'm going to say this about Steph, and I was telling Steiny today, I still think he'll figure this shooting thing out, but the compliment in this may not be the compliment to him, however you look at it. The Warriors have other options. Wiggins taking a bigger role, Jordan Poole and Clay. So it's a good thing because they're not just Steph heavy. And I think them not being Steph heavy and his shooting woes per se, I get why he's falling off, but I'm telling you, I'm going to Rocky Balboa's home state, Philadelphia, and I think Joel Embiid, who was the leader last year before he got hurt, I think he's just being a beast, and I think he takes this thing home barring injury.
Yeah, the injury is the scary part. He's plus 225, so bet 100
wow.
to 225, and he's now the favorite. Nikola Jokic looking to go back-to-back, plus 275. Giannis is 4-1, plus 400. Ja Morant, plus 1,000, 10-1 odds. You see value there? Or what about Devin Booker at plus 3,000, 30-1 odds?
Devin Booker got jobbed, and I love the Wiggins story. He can't even be a starter, number one seed in the West, and he can't even be a starter on the All-Star team. So I know there's no way in hell he'll get love for the MVP. Chris Paul, I see the numbers condensed. I know we love points per game, but he's doing it all, shooting well from the field. And Giannis, how have we forgotten about the Milwaukee Bucks? That would be somewhere where I'd put some chicken down to see if they get hot and pull it off. And Ja Morant, I mean, what are they, 8 out of 10 away? 8 out of 10 from him, his name being thrown out there. But I just think his outside inconsistent shot is something that the public holds against him. Like he's a highlight that he's good, but I just think he's missing something to where he could supersede those guys in the West and get that MVP.
One more from the association, Goo, before we pivot to college basketball. The NBA championship future odds. The Nets 3-1. The Warriors are 9-2. The Suns are 5-1. The Bucks are 7-1. Who do you like to win the NBA championship right now in February?
Wow, because I'm so afraid of what's going on with Draymond, and I'm hoping I'm totally wrong. And trying to incorporate Clay. I like the Giannis story, but I'm going with Phoenix. I just feel like Phoenix has reminded everybody we know who we are. We got the full gang here right now, and I underestimated and hated on what Phoenix is doing, and their coach has them balling. So Phoenix right now is my leader in the clubhouse, and that's where I'd put my chicken on.
Man, Phoenix over the Warriors. And what about New Jersey? I mean, Brooklyn, the Nets coming out of the East. Are they the team to beat, or do you favor Milwaukee coming out of the East? Because the odds on both are pretty close. Obviously, Brooklyn, the favorite at plus 300, the Bucks plus 700, and the Heat and the Jazz kind of sleepers at 15-1.
I like the Heat. I like what they're doing, and I just mentioned that to a buddy of mine. But to answer your question, I don't like KD being out. I know he's coming back, and I don't like what net team are we talking about? Kyrie playing home or are they away? That's a big difference. So to me, I just like the Bucks right now coming out of the East. I think back to that series where the Nets were undermanned, but Milwaukee's clicking on all cylinders, and I think right now they're the healthier team. They're the team that knows we're going to be the same team on the road and away, and that's why they get my nod.
Yeah, I would actually take the Nets, and I would base it on Omicron, and I think the Omicron is waning. And by the time we get to March and April, you're going to see some of these mandates lifted, and I think you're going to get to a point where even in New York and San Francisco, two of the markets where the mandates are strongest, I think you might get to a point by May or even June where New York City and San Francisco, they lift the mandate.
Oh, wow.
And Kyrie's able to play at home. So I think that
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you have Kyrie, James Harden.
Oh, you know where I'm. Yeah,
I mean, KD. I mean, yeah. So.
And I don't want to turn the listeners off for you real quick, Dibs. I sent our boss a screenshot yesterday of an article about just Omicron. It's like a Rubik's Cube or a gremlin, and now they got a new variant coming out to where people that are vaccinated, could be in trouble. And it's like, how is this thing multiplying? So here we are putting our guard down. You don't got to wear a mask in the gym for another variant to come out, and then we're right back in the same bucket. And I say that to say it's just so frustrating. I hope that doesn't come to fruition. But this thing is not over.
It's not over, but we're getting to the point where it's going to be more of an endemic than a pandemic.
Wow.
Where, the people who have gotten vaccinated, you're going to get vaccinated. The people who aren't, you're not going to get it. And then, we're going to ultimately treat this kind of like the flu.
Okay.
Society is going to have to move forward, and we're going to have to deal with it the way we have to deal with it.
I'm not mad at that, Dibs.
No, and we're 2 years and a month now removed from where we all had to broadcast from home. So I think it's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, it's brought to you by Livermore Casino. It's Liquidate all assets with Guru and Dibs. Coming up, some fun Super Bowl props. But first, Goo, let's talk about
Yeah.
Not NFL football, but NCAA college basketball.
I love it.
What do you got for us, Goo?
You know what? I've been watching Michigan State, and they've been coming through for me. So my whole love for college basketball has been renewed and rekindled. And then last night, you didn't ask me, but I had the Warriors in San Antonio, not knowing that they were going to be light, and then they come through for me, and then I blow it again with UC Davis and UC Riverside.
Ouch.
But right now, I'm looking at Purdue and Minnesota. This is a clash, and Purdue minus 11.5 against the Golden Gophers. I just like the way Purdue, shout out to the Neils. Young Low Neil went to Purdue, but I like the Boilermakers to win this going away. I know 11.5 in college is kind of scary, Dibs, but I'm taking the Boilermakers to win by 12, and I think this is an easy one of the night.
I love it. We're going head-to-head because I'm taking Minnesota. Minnesota is an undervalued team, and 11.5 is too much. The Golden Gophers have been better at home than they've been on the road, so I'm going with Minnesota. You can have Purdue, and we can talk about this one on the air tomorrow.
I love it. And one more. I got the Houston Cougars hosting Tulane. It's minus 17.5. It's at Houston. They play hard. They go at it. And I just think this is going to be one of those 25 to 30-point wins. I'm taking the Cougars, Dibs, minus 17.5.
That's a big number. I'm going to stay off that. I'm going to let you have Houston. Houston's one of the good teams, certainly in the NCAA, but I'm going to go ahead and give you Houston. I'm going to give you 3, Goo, just based on my math. I have a system where, I punch up the math and I try to figure out exactly where we've been. And yes, Robert, I saw your comment. No more Winthrop, Mr. Dibs.
I love it.
Winthrop. I'm actually on Chattanooga tonight. I think that game's actually already underway.
Okay.
So I'm going to make sure that Chattanooga has already.
Before we go, Dibs, I forgot to give you one NBA prop. I'll give after you give these three.
Okay, college basketball. I'm going to give you Maine +6 against UMass Lowell. It's a home dog. UMass Lowell heading up to Maine. That's going to be too much to handle for UMass Lowell. Neither team is very good. We're taking Maine and the points. I'm going to take Drake -4.5 at Indiana State.
I like
the
that.
Scores aren't as good as many people think they might be. And we're going to take the Citadel +16 at Furman as our third pick. And you know what? Chattanooga has not started. And I gave this out on the air during Willard and Dibs. Let me make sure that Chattanooga has not started. And I'm scrolling my ESPN.
I love it. I can't wait.
Yeah, I like Chattanooga. Chattanooga is a very physical team. And we're going to take Chattanooga on the road if I can find it. And yeah, I'm not finding it. Oh, yeah, at Samford.
Stanford.
Chattanooga -7 at Stanford. Stamford is our fourth pick of the day.
I love it, Dibs. I am ready. And I forgot to give you my last NBA one. I talk bad about the Sacramento Kings, but the one bright spot, the old Golden State Warrior. He is Harrison Barnes, and he's +114 to score 19 points. If he hits 19 +114, that's a for sure for me. So Harrison Barnes against the Nets will be one of the only bright spots, and he'll hit that easy.
19 points? Is that what it is?
19 for all HB. Playing pretty good basketball.
I love it, Gil. That's incredible. Well, we are running up against it here. I had all Super Bowl props, but I want to make sure that we have time to get into it. So what do you say about next week? We do a full-on Super Bowl preview. We've got props. We've got the game. We've got player props. We'll devote next week Super Bowl only. How about that?
It'll be our second edition because when we did it for the ball games, it was awesome. So I'm down, brother.
I love it, Goo. And, man, happy gambling. Best of luck to you, and I'll see you tomorrow on the air.